Hello, welcome to Malkid Talks, Wheel of Time Theory podcast video this week. It's a little different. I'm doing my first panel, and I've brought along some curious minds from the fandom to help me. I'm going to go around and introduce you to them. So for those of you watching the video, you'll know as I go around, but those of you listening, you won't. So first up, Delusions of Greandal. Say hi.
Bonjour. Hello, Rob.
Hello. How you doing? Why don't you tell, for those who don't know who you are, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm a Blight lander, so for those of you who don't listen to the Wheel Reads, that means I live in Canada, out in Alberta there. I started reading the Wheel of Time in around the year 2000, 99, 2000-ish. Finished it obviously when Memory of Light came out and got back into the fandom probably almost a year ago now. Yeah, over a year ago, 2019, when I started listening to the White Tower podcast. Jumped on Discord, and the rest, as they say, is history.
Makes exuberant appearances, and if you're anywhere near the podcastathon Twatcast did a while ago, Delusions was, I think, there more than anybody else, to be honest.
Yeah, little obnoxious.
Yeah.
Lost a lot of sleep.
She was responsible for much of the nudity. It was good.
How in character, yes.
Wonderful. Well, it's good to have you here, Delusions. Next on the list, we have Tree. Tree, say hi. Let us know about yourself.
Hey. I don't know how I'm going to follow Delusions intro, but I'm going to try my best. So I started, I read the Eye of the World for the first time in 2006. And then I never picked any of the other books up again until about 2.5 years ago. And then I did it all Audible, and it was awesome. And I watched all of the YouTubes, all the Nablis, and all of Dusty Wheel and Daniel Green until I eventually found the Discord this year. And so I am just Tree X Hugger on Discord, or everyone just calls me Tree.
Good to have you here, Tree. I can't believe you picked up the first book and then didn't pick up any others.
I know. I wanted to, but I couldn't find them. I got them, the first one, from my little school library, and then I just couldn't find them again. And I asked, for Christmas gifts and birthday gifts, and then I got, I believe it was Path of Daggers, and then I tried to read that one, and it obviously didn't make any sense.
No, not at all.
So then I just gave up, but it was always in the back of my head, like, I really want to finish these books. And eventually I just did it.
Nice. Yeah. Lovely. Well, last but not least, we have in the opposite corner, next to me on the screen, we have the wonderful Mello. Please say hello and tell us about yourself.
Well, hello. I'm very happy to be here. So I'm mostly on some Discord channels. You can kind of find me around, but this being my first time kind of telling everybody and saying it out loud, I am actually creating a podcast with my first time reader friend. Yes. We've already started. We've got a couple episodes ready. So within a week, it should be all on YouTube. We're going to mostly focus on actual video podcasts on YouTube. So you'll see me coming. I mean, most people do know me from random Discords here or there. So you might get an invite to my Discord soon. Who knows?
Ooh. What's the name of the podcast? Are we going to drop that yet? Or is it still
I will drop it. It's Voices of the Wind podcast.
Lovely. That's so exciting.
Nice. You heard it here first, ladies and gents.
Yes. You're first.
Cool. So, it's great to have you here. How long have you been reading, Mello?
I actually
started into the series.
Right. I started in July of 2019, last year, and I finished in April.
Wow.
And this is actually my first time rereading a series in my life. I've been reading forever. I mean, I've been at a college reading level since I was little. My parents couldn't get books away from me. So this is my first time ever rereading something, and I started to realize how important it was to me that I'm rereading something for the first time in my life. So kind of delved into the fandom, and here I am.
Brilliant.
Yay!
Wow, it's wonderful to have you all here, ladies. I really appreciate you joining me. So today we are going to be, this was inspired by SpoilerCon a little bit, but I wanted to do a bit more of an expansion on it and do more characters and stuff. But we are taking non-channelers in the Wheel of Time and sorting them into Ajahs. And we've had a bit of discussion around this, haven't we? We've already got dissenting views about who goes where. So this could be interesting. We have a nice long list. We're going to do some of them with some discussion, and then we'll probably do most of them a bit quick fire style, because otherwise we'd be here for about 5 hours, I think.
Are you telling me that people don't want to listen to this obnoxious voice for 5 hours?
Well,
I feel
Of course they
attacked.
do.
get the compulsion out, and then I'm sure we'll make it work.
Yes,
Incidentally, first on the list, we are sorting Greandal. So
Nice.
I don't think we should start with Greandal in terms
We
of
can pass.
where we put Greandal. This is I'm going to call it Delusions while we're talking about Greandal, because that makes it. So we won't start with Delusions because we'll save the expert till last in that respect. We're going to start with Tree. So Tree, where do you think we should sort Greandal? Where would she end up?
Okay, well, my first thought was gray, actually, which might be strange, but I was thinking because, she works behind the scenes a lot and is very manipulative. And I don't know, that just seems kind of like a gray quality to me.
Tree, aren't you a gray?
I am.
Very good.
There it is.
Okay. But by the way, ladies and gents, we are going with the 7 original Ajahs. We're not going to go with black. Unless the panel really thinks it's applicable, although those that are Forsaken or Black Ajah originally will not be sorted into black because that's just too easy, isn't it? So, okay, so Tree has gone grey. Mello, what's your option there? Where do you think Greandal ends up?
I had a similar train of thought, but I landed closer to white because she does manipulate really, really well. But I don't think that she manipulates in, of course she wants power, but I don't feel she manipulates in a way that really involves anybody else, where I feel that it's more of just this logic-based manipulation. Like she thinks how can I get what I want in this situation? What do I have to do to get there? And she kind of gets there. So I felt closer to white, but I did struggle with Greandal. I'm not going to lie, but I got closer to white is my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And do you have an Ajah of your own?
Yes and no. I lean towards blue, but
okay.
Yeah.
Other options being?
Green.
Okay.
I'm a bit feisty, so.
Blue with a green border is a great Ajah to be.
There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. Well, I had some similar thoughts here. So I put Greandal in the white, personally. So when I looked up a little bit of history on Greandal, now she's all about the, the pleasures and the luxuries in life, and she wears the revealing clothes and all those sorts of bits and pieces. But originally she wasn't like that. She had the very much just, very simple lifestyle, not a lot going on in terms, didn't have the fancy clothes or didn't want a million things going on in the, her room or anything like that. And she lived a very, just as I say, very simple life. It was all about the, not necessarily about logic, but,
A life of abstentia.
Yeah, pretty much. Yes. Nailed it. Delusions. And I think it would be partially hilarious to put someone in the white who wears such outrageous outfits and for luxury. But I think her original character would win out enough that you could see her fitting in the white, even though she's there in clothes that can barely cover, a leg, let alone a body. So that's kind of where I went. I was going with white.
Interesting. 2 whites and a gray.
Yeah,
wow.
But let's ask the lady herself. Delusions, tell us, where does Greandal fit?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one because Greandal is a character that no one understands. The Great Lord doesn't understand her. He thought it was a punishment to put her in the most hideous body that he could as Hessalam. And of course, to Greandal, appearance is an illusion. She doesn't care what she looks like. She doesn't care what she dresses like. She actually doesn't have those deep-seated pleasure-seeking centers that she puts out to the world. She is an enigma, and that's why it's so difficult to sort her. If we're looking at her prior to turning to the shadow, As Rob said, she led a life of abstentia. She was so disciplined in how she lived, and she judged people who didn't follow a similar lifestyle. And that's ultimately what led her to the shadow, is her great disappointment in humanity, which I very much relate to. Humanity is an ongoing disappointment. But she was
It's a hot mess. We'll just call it that.
Hot mess.
Yeah.
But she was a healer of the mind. Samael notes that she is the most talented user of compulsion likely that's ever lived. That stems from her being a healer. So her primary focus prior to turning to the shadow was essentially mental illness, going in and treating it. So because of her adeptness with compulsion and healing weaves in general, I would sort her into yellow.
Woo-hoo.
But then we're left with her crazy mind games, her strategy, her drive and focus, and she has plot on plot on plot. If something goes wrong, she always has a backup plan. You're not going to catch her. The only person at the end of the day who undid Greandal was Greandal herself, right?
That's true.
She cast a weave, it rebounded, she compulsed herself, because that is the only person who can take Greandal out.
Yeah.
So for that reason, I also think, post shadow, or maybe the whole time, that she was also blue.
Wow. Okay. So we've got a gray, 2 whites, and then a blue and a yellow.
Blue and a yellow. But I think, I can't decide between the two. I think because no one knows where her true interests are.
That is very true. She is an enigma, as you said. Ladies, any counter arguments or any feedback for Delusions there?
I want to say, I'm sorry, I don't mean to jump in.
Go ahead.
I just want to say that I was actually digging into the yellow part of this as well before I came up to white. That was one of my first thoughts. I was like, okay, well, I mean, what makes the most sense to me before, the shadow happens for her was yellow. But being that was such a big part of her life, I didn't want to push that aside, but I would not have guessed blue. So that one kind of got me. Very good.
Surprise.
Yeah. It makes sense. So I like the blue.
Yeah.
And I like the yellow. So I can't decide.
She's like a puppeteer, right? Like Moraine,
Yeah.
when we first meet her in Eye of the World, is like, she wants everyone to dance to the strings that she pulls.
I mean, we've got yellow, we've got blue, we've got white, we've got gray. I mean,
She is of all
She's the
Ajah's
basically
That's
half
it.
Amelin. Yeah.
men. Yeah.
I mean, Delusions would be happy if we made her Amelin C, wouldn't she? So
Dance for me, puppets. Dance.
okay, so let's do a vote and see what happens. So hands up if you think gray. 1 for gray.
Actually,
Hands up for white.
Sticking with white.
Okay. Hands up for blue. Oh, we got 1 blue because I was going to go yellow.
Perfect.
All right, let's have a look
The
at
full
DeeTee's
gambit.
notes. DeeTee can be the tiebreaker. He sent us some notes. So
I believe he said red.
yeah, Greandal, her history as a man-hater. No, that's not at all what he said. So before I actually delve into DeeTee's notes here, by the way, DeeTee was meant to join us, but unfortunately he's not feeling the greatest today and has sadly had to drop out last minute. But he sent us his thoughts on the top 5 that we're going to discuss. So I will be sharing those. And it's good that he shared them because they can be kind of a tiebreaker for us. So he says for Greandal, her history as a healer makes yellow a good option. But I think gray may suit her more now, a deft manipulator.
Tree.
So congratulations, Tree. Chalk one up for you there. Yeah, we've got Greandal down as a gray. I will make a note of this.
awesome.
And yeah, ooh, knocking me mic everywhere. Sorry. Gray, Ajah. Lovely.
Gray.
Gray. All right, Mello, you're first up this time, and we are talking Lanthir. Where is Lanthir going to go?
All right, let's see. So I did land I did land between 2 again. These were kind of tricking me a little bit. Actually, I had the hardest time between Lanthir and Greandal, but I was in between because Lanthir does have such a background of so much research and so much study that I wanted to end up in Brown. I really felt that Brown was the one that compelled me the most for her. But the other side of me, and being that I just said it for the last one, it's kind of annoying to say it again, but the other side of me does want to go for white because, again, not too differently, she's also really good at manipulation. She also knows how to do things to get what she wants. So I'm hesitant to lean into brown because of that reason, and nothing else really fit for me besides white. So with that being said, I'm going to go for a vote for white, but it's not a strong vote for white. It's just my consideration.
Ah, yes, Lanfear. Cool, calm, collected.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to play with that a little bit, and I didn't pick white at all. Now I understood why you've gone white. I can get that a little bit, but my first thoughts were, and I know they're conflicting ones, typically speaking, but blue and red. They were my first thoughts. Now, hear me out, because I know that's a weird option. Blue, I was thinking, now they're all passionate about causes, and her cause basically is to get Lu's throne back and to defeat the Dark One and rule in his place. That is all she's about the entire time. Even at the very end, she's there just like, oh, actually, Luz has been a dick and turned me down too many times. Perrin, do you want to be my man-child? And
Could be my little cub.
Yeah, be my little cub. And, we'll take over the world because the Dark One's about to get his ass whooped. She's all about that cause for dominance. But then that kind of led me into just her wanting to, take charge of everything. And I went down the red path because I was like, she wants to control all the other channelers. She wants to be the ultimate power. And she seems to hate everybody except Luz. And even in the end, she sort of doesn't really like Luz either. So yeah, I was torn between the two. And I didn't make a decision in my notes. So I'm going to make one now, and I'm going to say blue. That's my final answer. So,
Okay.
That's one.
Delusions.
I like the analysis.
You're up.
Well, because you chose blue, I'm going to choose red.
Hey, there we go.
I think Lanny Banani is. So the thing with red is I don't want to just narrow it down to like man hater or all about men, because I think women are better than being about men.
I'm sorry, Lanny Banani.
Lanny Banani.
Can we address that first?
I like it.
Lanny Banani, lose clues. We're moving. We're getting it.
Okay, we're good.
Like
All right. So sorry, carry on.
So Lanster is someone who is motivated purely by her own self-interests. That is her cause. That is her justice. She has that rigid red approach to life. She thinks she's right. She thinks she knows what's best. She's not willing to bend for anyone else. She's so self-driven. And that is at least what we see of the red Ajah in the Third Age, kind of a common trait, right? Is there's something that's driven all of them to that Ajah, whether it's their hatred of men, whether it's their desire to cult channeling in men and, protect the world, whatever it is, there's one single driving force behind it. For Lanfear, that single driving force is herself. It's not the Dark One. It's nothing else. It is ambition of her own. Just basically her own ambition. So I think she fits well in red. Also her wild passion and inability to control her emotions. She rules on emotion. That brilliant scene in Fires of Heaven, when she rips Kadir's skin off and just starts screaming, "Where is she? Where is Avienda?" I think it's one of the most powerful scenes in the whole series. And that just screams red Ajah to me like nothing else.
Cool. Okay. So far we've got maybe white, a blue and a red. And Tree, what have you come up with?
Well, I was actually going to say blue too. Yeah. And I agree with a lot of what you said. Like, she seems very goal driven to her own means. And she doesn't really, she goes off on her own and she doesn't really care what anyone else is doing or what anyone else is up to. And she just, she's just looking out for herself. And, you guys all have such good points. You're intimidating to hang out with, okay? You're also smart. But I agree with everything Rob said. If I was articulate, I would say almost the exact same things, but blue.
Don't be so hard on yourself, Tree. You're articulate, don't you worry.
I'm gonna work on it. Don't worry.
Okay. Well,
Tree.
we'll just have to have you on more shows, won't we?
More practice.
Everybody needs to have Tree on this show. That's just what it comes down to, doesn't it?
This
So
is the way.
this is the way. There we go. You should have, by the way, anybody watching, if you have a show, you need to have any of these three and DeeTee as well. You need to have them on your show because they're all great people. And as you can see, they're all dropping good knowledge. So speaking of DeeTee, he had some thoughts here. At first, he thought Brown since she was a prominent researcher.
Ooh, that's a good
But
one.
he's
Yeah,
very
Miriam is a
much,
Brown.
he's very much of the case of she's left that completely behind. Research is not something she's about anymore, full stop. So he says that he feels like she'd fit in the Reds because she loves being dominant over men. So we have two blues, two reds,
Yeah.
and a potential white. So
I'm
Mello,
gonna switch mine, yeah.
have you been swayed? Where have you been swayed
I
to?
have been swayed, and I fully agree with red.
Okay.
Blah, blah, blah. We take
So-
it this time. Suck it, Tree.
Well, we have a blight battle going on here,
Blight,
ladies and
yeah.
gents. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I should have mentioned I'm from the Blight too. I kind of skipped that part.
A.
To be fair,
Eh?
we didn't actually
I-
ask Delusions. What is your Ajah of choice if it's not black?
If it's not black. So I grew up my whole life thinking I was a green. Because I don't know if you can tell this, but I'm obnoxious and loud and a little bit opinionated.
Same.
The last one I've noticed slightly. I wouldn't say the first two.
Oh,
Well, loud.
oh.
You're only loud in Tanchico. That's all I'm going to say there.
But as I've gotten older and embraced more of my qualities, I think blue is where it's at.
Cool. I'm black if anyone cares, just because I feel
I thought
that
we
they're.
weren't allowed to sort black.
No, you can't sort black. I'm naturally black myself because they're really terribly represented, and frankly, I could do a much better job. Not that I'm going
You
to,
think you
but
can do a better job than Varen?
That's a good point.
Old
she's
school
not actually black.
Oh.
Varen's not black. Varen's a double agent. She's not black. She's black on the surface. That's a facade.
She's
That's a
purple,
that's a mirror of mist.
Brown.
Right. So yeah, we've gone for red. Next on our list, we've got a nice fun one. I love this one. I don't think anyone's ever considered sorting this person, but I think it's going to be great. And I get to go first this time. Ooh. So next on our list is Linny. Where did I put Linny? God, this is going to be interesting. So again, I was a little bit torn here. I had two Ajahs on the go that I couldn't choose. So the first one I picked was blue. And she's very driven by causes. Her cause is to raise the Trakans, basically the women of the Trakan family. She's raised 3 generations. She's so stubborn she's going to hang around and raise a 4th generation, and her cause is just make them be the best people they can be, even if that means at the age of 20 or 30 or 40 she's telling them off like they're still 12 years old and need to a good scolding and put on the naughty step or timeout zone or whatever it might be type thing. But then I was thinking about that, and although she doesn't really have children of her own, or if she does, it's not mentioned, she's very maternal. She's about raising this family, helping this family. She's all about just healing any problems they have and making them be better people. So I dabbled with yellow there as well. And I couldn't really pick between the two. I'm going to go blue. I think her cause of raising the Trakans is greater than any sort of healing or looking after type thing. So yeah, that's where I came down there. Delusions?
Hello for a second there. It's just like a really poetic way of looking at Linny. I like that a lot. I hadn't considered yellow. With Linnigans, I thought she's a tricky one because she is cool logic on the surface. I mean, her Linnyisms, are pulled up when they're needed. She presents them to the world and lets others kind of sort through their own issues, but she's there to listen and help guide. She's like she's a ship captain. She navigates the life of the Trakans and pretty much anyone else she comes into contact with, the servants in the royal palace, the crew, Morgase's crew, and really Perrin's entire camp. So
including Perrin.
including Perrin, which is much needed. Linny has that reserve that I think she has a lot of emotions and she has a lot of feelings, but she is able to prioritize others' interests ahead of her own necessarily. And I think Linny is a white when it comes down to it. She's a white with obviously a lot of other colors mixed in there, but at her core, white, logic, flawless, Linny.
Okay. Lovely.
Interesting.
Tree.
Well, I actually dabbled with yellow too because of her caretaking, capabilities. But then I switched over to gray again. I'm not biased or anything. Well, I thought about gray because of all the reasons that Delusions just put up, that, she guides all these people and she's there as a mediator and tries to deter any problems with anybody. And you know what? Do you guys think that maybe she channels a little bit and that's why she lives so long? Anyway, we don't need to go on there. We don't need to go there. But anyway, I'm going to say gray. It was just a thought I had. I was like, how would she live so long? But anyway, moving on.
I mean, she's
gray.
She's stubborn, so she could be like, Death comes wandering around, and she's like, "No, dude, come on, not now."
Yeah, no, not today.
Yeah. Lovely. Okay, so we've got a blue, obviously, a blue, a white, and a gray. Mello, what do you got?
Well, I actually had the same thoughts between you, Rob, and Tree, because first of all, Linny was a nurse. I mean, her profession was healing. So I'm like, how can you ignore that? But it's kind of the obvious choice. Just because somebody works at something doesn't mean that's their passion. So I pulled myself away from that. And I thought, okay, just because she's a nurse doesn't mean she would be yellow. And I actually landed on gray, because how much those children have learned about the world and how much they've learned, like when they think back to things that Linny says, they don't think back to like a quote that's like, oh, take care of yourself. It's like a quote that's like, okay, when this person wrongs you, here's how you make the situation work. Like, she's very worldly. She's got really great advice. She sticks by their side so much, like no matter what. And it's all a very, what is the word? It's not in a political way, but she's got this, teaching for them to get them into positions where they can actually take their power and not abuse it. So like, she's teaching these children, she's not teaching them to be adults. She's teaching them how to be rulers, which is why I've landed on gray.
Wow.
Love
Very
it.
good. I agree.
I had a lot of thoughts about Libby.
So DeeTee is not helpful here. In fact, if anything, DeeTee makes the whole situation worse.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. Thank you, DeeTee. So he says, Linny, always logical, but super goal-focused. A white or a blue are my first thoughts. And that was the end of his thoughts as well, apparently.
Oh, no. We need his second thoughts.
We need his second thoughts, because now we have 2 grays, 2 blues, and 2 yellows.
Perfect.
2 whites, sorry. Why did I keep stuck on yellow, aren't I? Anybody feeling the need to switch after hearing everyone else's discussions?
I don't know. I think Linny's too fiery, and she believes that she's right too much to be a gray.
I think grays believe they're right and they push their opinions.
Much as Tree is doing right now. Yeah. Okay. Let's put a pin in. I've got my little notebook here. We'll
pin
put a
in Lynn.
Pin in Lynn. We'll pin Lynn, and we've got 2 grays, 2 whites, and 2 blues. And if we can't come to a decision at the end of the podcast, we will put up a Twitter poll after this episode comes out to see what everyone thinks. Right. Next on the list, moving on a couple of the fellas now. The original 5 I picked without even realizing it. I just picked 5 ladies, and the ladies were like, where are the dudes? So we've got a couple of dudes on the list to discuss. First up, is Delusions. It's one of your favorites, isn't it? I believe next on the list.
Yeah,
It's Matty Boy.
my boy.
Where's your boy going? Tell us.
I mean, how can he be anything but green? He is Lord of Battles. He is the Hornblower. He is someone who is reckless with his actions when he needs to defend his friends. He prioritizes his friends and his loved ones above absolutely everyone. He is able to see shades of gray in every person. Look at his love for Tuon, even with everything she stands for. He is passion. He is commitment. He is loyalty. He is green to his very core.
I had a feeling that was going to be very succinct. Okay, so I'm sensing green there. Tree, where do you sit? Where do you sit on this spectrum?
Well, my first thought was blue, actually, but
Cool.
I didn't really have any reasons. It was just the first thing that came to my head. And then I thought about it a little bit, and then I thought that maybe he could be red because of how much he dislikes female channelers. And if you switch the roles, then he would probably be on the red team, I would think.
Okay. That's it. All right. So we've got a green and a red. Mello?
Yep.
What do you say?
I have the same two choices because honestly, I mean, everybody's going to always kind of lean into green a little bit because it's the obvious choice again. But when Tree mentioned that about red, it totally threw me for a loop. I had to sit on that for a little while. And I thought, okay, he is so fiery. He is so all about himself. And I mean, he totally does take care of the people that he loves, but that has to do with him. It's not because he just like cares about people in general. It's like, oh, they're on my back. I got to do this. Like, it does feel like a more like a selfish kind of thing. I mean, if I took care of my family, it's because they're my family and I don't want anything to happen to them. It's, you know.
But do you not think that like Matt's character, when he does that, is a little bit of him trying to like slough off responsibility and be like, no, like it's because I got to. It's not because I want to.
True. Which doesn't really make him lean either way. Because him pretending like he doesn't want to care about people doesn't really place him in either red or green. That is kind of a trait that you can see in both of those because they're both feisty. They're both like very driven in their own minds and they can kind of reason whatever they want to. I'm very long-winded on this one because I'm so torn.
Go for it. That's fine.
But
We're whipping through these quite quickly. I'm quite happy.
Yeah.
So feel free to stretch the discussion a little bit.
I really do feel if we're going for a gender bent red, he's red. That's also a very strong thing to say.
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say the thing that you said about how he's really loyal to, his group. To me, that also is a red trait. Like they tend to be really loyal to their little red Ajah, and they kind of just brush off everybody else.
Right. And they're not doing it necessarily out of just pure like care. It's more just like, these are my people. I'm going to do this.
Exactly.
With respect to that and the I'm just going to jump in here. Sorry, Rob.
That's fine. I'm trying to wait for last because.
So with respect to, like the rigid red thinking, right? Like Tree, you said because he doesn't like female channelers. I hear that and I raise you Teslin, Elaine, Nynaeve, Tuon, women that he grows to have obviously like deep friendships with. His friendship with Elaine is one of the greatest. So he says one thing, but his actions show another. He says he doesn't like channelers. He wants to get the Foxhead medallion, or he asks for a way to protect him from channeling. He gets the Foxhead medallion. He gives that medallion to Elaine. The scene of him in Abu Dar whipping that fox head around at the golem, and he protects Elaine because of his deep, undying love for her. I just that's Matt Coffin. He changes his thinking. He expands his views of who is in his inner circle. He's not just team red. He is team good people.
Yep.
Cool.
And on that note, think about when the Reds decided that they were going to work with the Ashaman, and Mara started getting close with Andral.
I mean,
So it's all
Pavara's
about an
just-
evolution.
right.
So he's evolving red.
Every
Yes.
rule.
He's an evolving red.
There's this exception where it's like, okay, like yes, I don't like the Aes Sedai, but I like Elaine, and it's because like he's not looking at her as like some Aes Sedai. He's looking at her as like Elaine.
Yeah.
So there's always that exception there, and I feel that if we had gotten a lot more info on like some of the reds that also had those little exceptions, you'd probably see that more often as well.
Yeah, I mean, like the handshake with Teslin builds to that, right? Because she's red. Tessie Boo, I think, is red.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I think so. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head, but
Mhm.
I'm going to throw in DT's thoughts before I add my own,
Okay.
because I'm on a different limb here from everybody. I'm just going to say that straight away. But DT says, Matt, the son of battles. I'm sticking with the battle Ajah, though you other guys made some excellent points because we had some pre-discussion on Matt. So yeah, here's where I go on a completely different limb. And I'm saying, yeah, just make sure I wrote the right word down. Gray.
Yes, I wanted to say gray so bad, and I was like, nope,
Your
not this time.
faces.
You're not doing it.
Not this time. Not
faces.
today.
Hear me out.
Not
Hear
for
me out.
cats from Pothin.
Hear me out. So yes, he's the son of battles, and he's always fighting, and he's very passionate about things, or whatever. But how often is Matt there just sorting everything out? I feel like he turns up and he's just like, right, you Aes Sedai do this, or you Windfinders do that, or you do that. Yes, he's being a bit bossy and ordering around, but he is taking people from different walks of life and just meshing them together, mediating all that drama together. I think he's a secret gray when you look at some of those things. Yes, he fights.
like it.
Yes, he is, has causes. He's very passionate about his friends. If you get a promise out of him, he won't break it, even if it costs his life. He has all those things. But I think as right down deep in his core, he's actually a gray, because he will look at every situation and find a way to make it work together with every other situation if needed. As you say, look at Tuon. Look at what she represents, the culture she comes from and believes in. And there he is coming from the opposite culture, and even though he quote hates Aes Sedai and channeling and is scared of it, and I want the Foxhead medallion, he's still like, I love you and we're going to make it work. And she puts him in the uniform of broad holder and all that sort of thing, and he's just like still doing his own thing, but not screwing up the Seanchan way of doing things. He's kind of making it mesh together. He's mediating it together and making it be one. And I think he does that in every part of his life. And it's
so true.
Yeah. So
He's great.
I went out on the gray. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I agree.
Because
Can't have him.
and everyone who says like, oh yeah, but he fights so much, he battles. Yeah, every Ajah except the Yellows, because they were running the healing station, but every Ajah will go out there and fight when needed.
True.
Every Ajah was there at the last battle, albeit some of them were useless, particularly the Greens compared to what they should have been like.
You make compelling points, but you're wrong.
I knew as soon as I saw like DT's notes pop up and those other things you guys were saying, I'm sat there, I'm like, I'm going to be the only person saying this. But
Yeah.
I love the perspective though, because like you're absolutely right. He does have very strong mediating qualities, and he has a unique tendency to be able to bring people together.
yeah. Okay.
I'm almost late on that.
Yeah, I wanted to say gray, but I was like, you can't. You have to pick another Ajah for this.
Not everyone
I
is
agree
great.
with Rob 100%. I agree with you 100% because he is that person that can fit into all these different groups and make it work. So.
And I mean, even if we're looking at the last battle, how he's able to align like the shot, like that, aligning the Seanchan and getting them behind the cause, and even, oh my gosh, help me with the name of the town, Hinderstap.
Yeah.
Even being able to like go back and like utilize and think about these things, about how to involve everyone behind a common cause, is a very great tendency. And look at me talking myself into your point.
Yeah.
And his ability to adapt to changing situations.
He started that for me, and now I'm in.
He's a secret gray. I told you.
Yes.
So gray. I say gray.
Gray.
Mello says
I'm
gray.
going to say gray too.
Tree says gray.
Can I say grain?
Grain?
I mean, it works like
Yeah.
the two rivers, right?
Okay. Linny, we're working on, but Matt is a gray.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. Okay. Last on the list, do be Bail Doman.
Doopy doopy doo.
Doobie doobie doo. And we are back to Tree. Tree, lead us
Okay.
off on your thoughts.
Okay, so for Bale Doman, I was thinking brown Ajah. Because when we first meet him, he had some collections, like he seemed really interested in the history and exploring and just learning about people and the world. And I think that's very brown.
Cool. Mello?
Short and sweet, but I totally agree. The things that he knows and learns and goes out of his way to find out information about, I totally pegged him for a brown.
Yep.
You pegged him?
Like a pirate pig.
Nobody was supposed to pick up on that.
I'm sorry, you pegged him in the brown? Oh, for the brown.
For the brown. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the uncouth section of the YouTube video
See,
podcast, whatever.
I went right for the peg leg pirate
I
thing.
know, Tree, you're so pure.
Tree is our innocent one on the podcast today, so I love it. I was the same. I just his passion for history and old objects. He doesn't specialize in anything. He just loves to learn stories. He loves to learn about places. He loves to collect old items because of the journey that item has been on, and purely for his own, his own joy, just his own interest. So I was brown instantly. I'm going to throw in DeeTee's thoughts here. He says Bale Doman is tough, apparently. He'd have to be a good negotiator in his craft, so would be well suited to the grey. And that's a valid point. It's very valid. But he's also a lover of history. And if not for his exuberant personality, I'd consider him for the brown. So he does have an exuberant personality.
Yeah.
That's a valid point. I hadn't considered that. But he did add a fun note here. His aged grandmother is likely a brown, though. Although when I read that line, I thought his aged grandmother do be a brown is what I heard.
Do be a brown.
Do be a brown. So, Delusions, where do you fall on the Bale Doman spectrum?
I mean, obviously brown is an appealing choice, but I went blue because I think of all the characters that we see, Bale Doman has such a unique sense of justice. He pursues what he thinks is right and wrong, and regardless of, we're going to call them political parties, but regardless of views, he can see the good in everyone, and he fights for what he believes is just and right in the world. His relationship with Egianan, I used to call her Egianan.
That's what I said.
That's how the audiobooks pronounce it. That's how Michael and Kate say
Egianan?
it. Egianan. Yeah.
Egianan.
Okay. Or Leilwyn. Shipless. I love his passion, his and Egianan's relationship to me is just, it screams blue. They unite behind a common cause. It's very much like Moraine and Lan's relationship, right? They align together. I mean, theirs is a little bit more romantic and I like to think kinky.
Get that peg leg out.
To get that peg leg out.
Oh, are you blushing, Tree?
No, never, not me.
Trees don't blush.
No.
Here we go.
But he aligns himself with the right causes. He convinces people to trust in others. Like with Egianan, like he brought her in and he was like, you know what? She is someone that is worth getting to know, and she is someone that is worth trusting. And I am going to, like, he doesn't have these prejudices and biases. He's willing to judge someone just on their merits that they bring to the table. And I love that. I love that he sees truth and that his vision, like when he's, oh my gosh, why can't I think of the name? Han Solo, smuggler. When he's a smuggler, you see
Love
how
that.
the train of thought works.
For those of you who aren't aware, Delusions is a mild Star Wars fan.
Just
But that's
casual.
a whole series of podcasts by itself.
Yeah.
So back to the smuggler.
Back to the smuggling. But when he's a smuggler, he's able to see, the reasons and the justice and behind it. He sees beyond like dumb laws that are just instituted or put in place to amplify someone's power. And he does what he thinks is right in the moment, whether that's smuggling or bringing people aboard or kicking people off the ship. He marches to the beat of his own drum, and that is the truest blue quality I can think of.
I love that, and I'm going to be the first to say that you've really changed my mind, and I'm changing to blue. I've got to be honest. I love the way you've done that. I'm Bale be blue.
Bale be blue.
Yeah.
Come on over, baby.
Any others? Are we sticking with the Browns or
I'm gonna stick with brown.
Yeah,
Tree? Brown?
I'm gonna stick with brown.
Argument. It was
Blue is very good though.
beautiful, and I totally see where you're coming from, but I do still lean towards brown.
Okay, so we've got 2 blues, 2 browns, and a gray from DeeTee. So, yeah. Maybe we'll come back to that one later.
Pen it.
We'll
Peg
pin
it.
that one. We'll peg that one. We've pinned Linny, and now we'll peg Bale. I feel like we should throw another one in for discussion before we do the quick fire round.
Sure.
Was there another one that anyone really, really liked and wanted to talk about in detail?
I would love to do Amis.
I don't know I can't remember who that is. I would like to do Perrin. Hold on,
That sounds
let
like a
me
different
just research
podcast, Tree.
Okay.
We'll put that on the pegging podcast.
I just need to quickly.
Yeah, so we'll add another one in there, and we'll talk about Tam. Mello, where would you put Tam? Which
All
Ajah?
right, I have lots of notes on Tam. He was one that I had a few different choices. I'd love to say that I really do kind of see him for blue, but none of his ambition, not none, the vast majority of his ambition does not have to do with him and himself. It's not not that it's always a selfish thing, but it's not really about him, his ambitions, his desires, his goals. It feels more worldly. I'm going to keep using that word, I guess. I voted for Gray for him because he is a fantastic mediator in every single aspect of the word. He cares so much for his village, his town, his people. He's on the council. I mean, I couldn't think of any reason for him to not be a Gray. And like I said, blue, I did flirt with blue a little bit there, but it just didn't make sense for him. No blue for him. I vote Gray.
No blue
Okay.
for you.
No blue for you.
No blue.
Delusions Tree, I'm debating a little bit. I've got a couple options in my mind. Either of you set on an option yet, or?
I think I do. I think I have one for Tam.
Okay,
I'm
go.
open to be convinced otherwise. But I think, kind of for all of the reasons that Mello mentioned, but I think he's a yellow. He is a healer of hearts and souls. He is the person you turn to when you, like Rand turns to him when he needs nurturing, when he needs to be assured of his place in the world. He feels things in a very deep way. He marched to the White Tower to speak to the Amerlin seat to demand to know where his son was. He is committed to his family. He's committed to his village. He's committed to raising the best people possible. We see that when he's with Perrin's army, when he just casually guides Perrin in the right way, to heal. I mean, I'm going to look at it as healing. It can also be a very gray thing, but to allow Perrin to become who he is, it's, healing the rift between Perrin and his army, especially after the rumors regarding Barrelane. Tam is a fighter, but he knows where he's used best, where he's most effective. He's the healing weave with the Two Rivers longbows. He marches in the last battle and knows his place. And I just think that he is a beautiful, beautiful depiction of a very loyal yellow.
That was just nice to listen to. I've got to be honest. I'm sitting here and I'm listening to Tam being described as a yellow. I'm like, keep going. I like this. I was right down the middle there. I was torn between gray and yellow. I was leaning towards gray, Mello. I was until Delusions started to talk, and now I'm going with yellow. Now, the reason I'm going with that is because grays don't get involved. Like they don't have that. They're a little bit removed from the world. They're not like browns where they just ignore the world sort of thing. And they're not like whites where, just abstain from pretty much anything apart from logic. But they're still a little bit, they're not quite as passionate. They're more about, I want to find the mediation here. I want to make this work together type thing. And Tam's got a little bit more, he cares about the people involved. He cares about the environments involved. Like, he works on the land. Everything he does comes from the land. He wants to, as you say, merge all. He helps Perrin after his whole Berylane non-sleeping together issue. Everything that Delusions just said.
On Gray even more with your points though.
Yeah, just
I know, and
it's so much about healing people and being involved with the people and being connected to them. Whereas
he just
the
wants
Greys,
to fix it.
the Greys are more about let's fix it, and the Yellows are more about let's fix the people or the person. Let's make that all in unit. Make that heal. Make that in synergy, I suppose is not the right word I'm going for there, but put it all in sync together, make it all flow well together. So yeah, I'm falling on the side of yellow. Tree.
I'm gonna go with gray.
What? Tree?
Because
That's
I
crazy.
want them all. What a surprise! I know. Well, because I agree with everything Mello said, and when I was just sitting here thinking, I was thinking gray too, because he does do a lot on the sidelines. I'm sure he includes himself, but the whole including himself in the council, he wants to do what's best for everybody. He's also able to include himself in a variety of different groups of people, and seems to make himself comfortable with whatever the situation is. So he's adaptable, which I think is a great trait.
Okay.
And everything else Mello said was beautiful. So I agree.
So do we have 2 yellows and 2 grays here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I have, although he's not well enough to be here, he is well enough to type. I've sent DeeTee a message right now and be like, DeeTee, quick, top of your head, what do you vote for Tab? Please give us, I haven't put this in, but I was thinking, please give us yellow or gray. Comes back and he goes, white. Oh no. No, he's not.
Is DeeTee white, Ajah? I think he wants all of them to be white. He is? Okay.
DeeTee is typing right now and he says he's going with blue.
Oh,
perfect.
I like blue too.
I was almost at blue, and I totally hear where he's coming from. But the points that both Rob and Delusions made actually pushed me more into gray. I started listening, and I'm like, oh, man, you guys are making great points. And I was like, oh, crap, that lines up perfectly with what I was thinking, too, though. So I was really hoping he'd come on either side of that, but...
I'm just going to let him know that we have a 2-2 situation between yellow and gray.
Yeah.
And
no, as we're
we'll carry on and we'll wait for DeeTee to reply. So we're gonna enter like a quick fire section now.
There we go. All right.
And because we had I feel like Delusions put a fair amount in, but I think she mentioned enough that we were all going to mention it anyway. Plus then we had obviously the others throwing names as well. So we've got a reasonably long list that we've done 6 names and we've been talking for an hour now. Yeah, pretty much. Right. All right, we did an intro piece, so let's say there's got to be at least 45 minutes talking about this. So, yeah, we couldn't possibly do like 20 names in an hour and a half or 2 hours. So we'll do a quick fire section. Literally, I want your gut reaction to this, ladies. Okay, so first on the list, Bashir. Mello, go.
Oh crap! Hang on, I have notes that I've written down everywhere. Green.
Okay, Delusions.
Gray.
Tree?
Green.
I had green as well, to be honest. So, yeah. I feel like I should be making notes about this. DeeTee's just laughing at us. Okay. Mello, do you want to write down that Bashir is a green?
Totally. Got it.
DeeTee's love this. Live reactions, even though you're not live with us, ladies and gents. Okay, let me think about that for a heartbeat. Love it. Okay. Fail. Me up first. Oh, shit.
Pre or post Marathon?
Oh, good point. I can't pick. That's really tough, isn't it? I don't know why, but I want to say red. Yeah, I'll get red. That's what I just, yeah. Delusions?
Yeah, I'm red or green.
Okay. Tree?
Blue.
Blue. Mello?
I was blue.
Blue. Okay. So, well, just while we put a pause on that quickly we'll pause the quick fire round after the second name. DeeTee is leaning yellow. He says, I don't see a lot of evidence of a keen negotiator. He didn't do that great on the reunion after all, but he went with an intent to heal. So
See, and that's what I keep coming back to with Tam.
Lifetime
It's just the scene,
counsel.
like the scene with him and Cadswain when he screams at her, "What have you done to him?"
yes.
I just like that to me is yellow in.
The only reason I don't think that is yellow, it doesn't matter who I am as a person. If someone touches my child, I don't care. It's Mama Lion. Like, I'm going after them. My whole
Yeah.
personality is gone. All I am is ferocity at that point. So that's one of my reasons as well, because he feels differently about Tam. About
Yeah.
Rand. Yeah.
Okay. Well, DeeTee is going to stay with us in text form.
Beautiful.
So I'm going to send
Nice.
him quick fire round ones now. So, and
Well,
Tam.
let's stop the
Oh, not
timer.
Tam. Why am I typing Tam? Fail, because we were just talking about Tam.
Oh, yes.
Okay, right. So we've got a tie there. We'll see what he comes back with. Next on the list, who was first? Who's next to go first? Sorry. That was me. So Delusions, you're up. And we want your favorite, Erin.
Can we have like does not finish? He's a DNFer for sure. He fucking quits that test so fast. He is not raised to the shawl.
Oh, wow. So
Fucking
the kin.
humdrum.
The kin, is
Yeah,
that
he's
what
the
we're saying?
kin. He's the leader of the kin.
Okay. We
No,
have
not even the leader. He's a casual, like
casual kin.
tidier, casual kinner.
Casual kidder. Okay. Tree.
I'm gonna say Gray because of how long he takes to make decisions, and he really mulls things over. And I think that's also very great.
But he
quality.
listens to no one's opinion.
Mm-hmm.
You think Grays listen to people's opinions? I don't know.
Well, they mediate. They have to.
They
So.
should.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Anyway.
true.
Quick fire. Mello, go.
It was gray for me.
Gray,
It's been gray since day one.
white. Because he just
I know.
has his own logic that's effed up.
Totally tying knots and doing nothing.
Yep.
Total
What was-
fixation.
What was our Fail's decision? He's gone green.
Green.
Yeah.
What do we have?
So green wins then, right?
Agreed.
So, okay, green. Note down green for Fail. Perrin. Let's see what he says there. Okay, next on the list. Tree, you're up first. Min.
Mm.
Oh boy. My first thought was blue.
Okay. Mello.
She's tough because she's such a brown when it comes to books, but I went for white. And it
Oh.
was weird. It was a weird choice, but I went for white.
Okay, blue's my gut reaction.
Mm.
Delusions.
Well, after she gave up everything for a man, I put her in brown.
Okay.
Not much logic in that.
No, fair enough. Well, Perrin is brown, according to DeeTee.
Ooh.
So where did we end up with
Dang.
Perrin?
He's in the kin because he couldn't be sorted.
He's in the kid because we couldn't come to a situation. Okay, so we say he's in the kid. Fine.
He's in the kin.
I love it. Okay. Next, it's Mello. You're up first. Berlane.
Berlane. My initial thought is green, but I feel like I've said this word 1,000 times tonight, but I do want to lean into gray. She's got a lot of like political maneuvers that you can't ignore it. You just can't.
There's a bit of a gray obsession going on tonight.
I know, and I'm not even gray, so here I am.
I love it. Okay. Do you know what? My initial reaction was green, but you've talked me into that gray one there. So
I mean,
gray.
Political. She's so political.
Yeah, it's all political stuff maneuvering. So gray. Yep. Delusions.
Yeah, Berlane is one of my most favorite characters, aside from the sexual harassment piece. She's great. She's so like looking at how she handles Tyr is just she's so much better than Melloyello. Like she should have been left with every negotiation. She's amazing. She's
Great. Right.
Tree.
Okay, well, I was thinking red, and then I was thinking gray, and then now I'm thinking white. So I don't know. I'm gonna pass. 'Cause I just
Okay.
don't know.
All right. Fair enough.
It's a full spectrum of going on over here.
So Berlane, we've got 3 grays, and I can't pick. So even if DeeTee comes up with something different, it's gray for Berlane. And I've completely screwed around the list here. I don't know why. I saw Iganen or Lywin, as she ends up being, and thought that was Berylane for some reason. So we'll go with her now. My turn first. Green.
Green.
I landed on green too.
Green. Okay. Green's that scene. That's Tree. Any difference?
No, I like green.
Green. Okay, cool.
Yep.
All right. The innkeeper's favorite, Lanthier. And we have her
We sort of landed
co-worker.
Banana.
We dug into her.
Oh, I didn't take her at
Yeah,
least.
we
That's
did.
why. Ignore me. And we've done Tam. So Elise.
Okay.
Delusions.
Oh, fork. She's red.
Red. Okay, cool.
Oh.
Tree.
I am going to say gray. Just got
Tree's default answer. Gray.
yeah.
Gray. Gray.
Default. Yep.
Gray.
I'll take them.
Oh, okay. DeeTee went blue, yellow, or gray for Berylane.
What?
He's going to go blue. Her cause is her nation, and she will do anything for it.
Oh, she will do
True.
anything for a man, but she won't do that.
For running the kid, I gotta go.
Tell her.
I mean, she's got shit under control.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
she's so
Gotta
cool.
go for that.
I love it. Okay. Sorry, what was your vote there for these?
Blue.
Blue. Okay, so we've got red and blue. And Tree, you said
Gray.
gray. Sorry, because DeeTee messaged me then, I totally didn't listen to the conversation. I was like,
That's okay.
yep. Mhm.
Very good.
All right. I red. Yeah.
Yeah, her hatred of the Shan Chan is pretty powerful.
Mhm. Yeah. I'm gonna go red, yeah. So red for her. Talmanis. Ooh. Tree, Talmanis. Where are we putting him?
So, green.
Wow. Okay. Mello?
I did green as well.
Green as well. Okay, I would not have picked him for green. But oh god, where would I put
I mean, it's up
Talmanis?
for a challenge anytime.
Talmanis is one of my favorite characters, especially the way he finishes out the books. I was like, I think I could have forgiven any death except Talmanis's death. So I'm glad he didn't die. He's not. I can't put him in green. He's not like he's so reserved for 99% of the books. I'm gonna. I know it's getting thrown around a lot tonight, but I'm gonna put him in grey. I know it's going everywhere. I know there's like a grey fetish going on.
Yeah, it does seem to be the case tonight.
Yeah.
It does, doesn't it? Like, I really should have asked you, Ajah's, before I invited everybody on. What's DeeTee?
I'm not even gray.
I know, and you're still going grey.
Oh, maybe
Jeez, I should have invited some Asherman on instead, but never mind, that's fine. Yeah, I'm going grey. He just handles everything. Everything is smooth. Like Matt runs off and leaves the band. He comes back and there's like 3 times the numbers, and the bank's got 5 times the balance. And he's just sort of like, everything is smooth. There's no problems. Like he's just mediating it all, you know. And then when he needs to, he just whips out his alter ego and, you know, whips a few murderers' asses. So
Pew pew pew.
exactly. Delusions.
So Talmanis, aka Tall Mayonnaise. What's the color of mayonnaise?
White.
That's right, he's a white.
Yikes.
Okay, so we've got 2 greens, a white, and a grey. So it looks like Talmanis is a green. So unless DeeTee can put us in a tie break situation. Dun, dun, dun. I want to do this. Talmanis is my favorite. So Taukmans, I can spell Rob, it would help.
Names.
Taukmayer. Okay. Next up on the list, who is first to vote here? Where are we at? Tigraine is next on the list. And is it your turn, Delusions? Am I right there?
Tree. Did Tree start that with Tall Mayo?
Oh, yes. So Mello, it's your turn. Sorry. Tall mayor. Okay, that's an interesting.
I didn't have a good answer for this one. I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm not sold on it, but I'm gonna say green.
Okay.
Yeah. She's a maiden, baby.
She is a
Right?
maiden.
That was it.
She was not raised to be a maiden, but she became a maiden.
For the best reason, but it's a reason.
I'm going to say blue because the cause that she's given that she then dedicates her life to.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Everything will, the world depends on you running away to become a maiden. That is your cause. And DeeTee went white for Talmanis. So we have
That's what I'm saying.
Nice.
2 greens and 2 whites.
Mello!
Oh, that made it worse.
2 greens and 2 whites. I love that.
Perfect.
Brilliant. Okay, so Talmanis will just have to suck up that we can't pick an Ajah, everyone. Delusions, to green, do you have one?
Yeah, Tigraine's green.
Green?
Like who runs away to the waste and can just become a maiden of the goddamn spear after you've already
Right?
had a kid? She's had a child and she's like, you know
and
what?
probably a pampered life as well.
Yeah, forget this 7-year-old loser. He'll be fine. I'm just gonna run off and like learn how to be a fucking warrior. Like that's insane.
Spoilers, he was not fine.
It was not fine.
Dude was messed up for life. Although people still prefer him to his brother. Wait, which one? Both. They prefer him to both.
To both, yeah.
So, tree,
I'm gonna go with green.
green. Okay. So, to green is a green. Fair enough.
Makes sense.
To
Green,
quote,
am I right?
to quote Gravel from the Leafcast, or I actually can't remember his real name, Todd. To quote Todd from the Leafcast, where do we put more gassy?
More gassy.
More
More gassy.
More gassy, yeah. Oh God, where do we put her? I want to put her in the. Oh God, I'm thinking now. What we got? I'm torn. I'm very much torn here. I don't. Blue, because there's nowhere else I think she fits better.
Morghese is straight up blue.
Blue.
When she surrenders
Yeah.
her throne to Elaine, that's the most blue thing that you can do.
Truly.
Okay. I don't feel I need to ask everyone else what their options were.
Blue.
So,
Blue.
Morghese is blue.
Mhm.
That's it.
Elise of the Aiel. Delusions, you're up first.
Man, this one's tough because like Amis is for sure one of my favorite characters. Her ferociousness wants ferociousness. Let's put it all together.
It was.
Wants me to put her in green. She's still like when we first see her, she is in the Cadensor, in the waste, right? When Egwene meets her, she still sees herself as a maiden. She still has that passion, that drive, that just battle within her. But she's also such a great teacher. And for that reason, I want to say blue. So I'm a blue green.
Okay, we got turquoise going on. Tree.
I was gonna say green.
Cool. Mello.
I was gonna go white.
Oh,
Hmm.
okay.
Brilliant. I mean, she really is. She shines a lot with like the way that she thinks about things. And I know that, I wanted to go for green, but white crept up on me.
I'm a green. Just the way she views herself in Telleramiad, green.
Fair.
So we've got 2 greens, a white, and a blue-green. Does that mean we've got green?
Basically
I
green.
think she
Green.
a green.
Okay. Sorelea.
Oh my goodness, you guys.
Dun, dun, dun.
Tree, you're up first. Do you know who Sorelea is? Do you remember?
I know the name. I'm gonna need a little bit of a recap.
She's Cadsuane, but of the Aiel.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well then, if that's the case, then she's green.
Okay. Mello.
I took gray. She had a big piece in the Dragon's Pact. She was a big part of that. Lots of politics there, but gray.
Okay. DeeTee went in with green on Amis, by the way.
Fair.
But I'll ask him about Sorelea. I don't know, because she's very just Cadsuane of the Aiel is probably the best way I've ever heard her described. Very cause driven, so I'm saying blue.
Very cause driven, able to bully people into what she wants. She's like, I'm a red green on her. I
Is
don't
she a
know.
little bit swan? I mean, she was a blue and she was a bully.
A little bit.
That's
yeah.
true, actually. Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah. Okay, I'll put Cerulia in blue.
So we got blue on the go.
I'm gonna switch to that. I'm gonna go ahead and say blue.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's the blue. Lovely. Here we go. How we doing next? Savannah. Ooh.
Nah.
DeeTee went red, by the way.
I love it.
Me too.
So
Oops. Sorry.
no,
I'll go first.
he went red on Sorilea. Not
Yeah.
on Savannah, but okay, fine. Tree goes red on Savannah. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay,
Sorry.
that's fine. Mello, where would you put Sorilea?
I went red as well.
Yep. DeeTee says super red.
Super red.
Super red. So,
Mhm.
and, oh no, wait, actually, he's changing his mind. I love this. I was thinking red as well. Delusions, what were you thinking?
Yeah. What's the color of the Shido at Dumai's Wells
Red.
from all the blood?
Yeah.
That's who she is.
Wow, that got a little dark
Red.
there, didn't it? I'm just going to tell him.
Appropriately dark.
I love this. So first he goes super red, and then
Yeah.
now wait, and then he messages, yeah, red.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's the best.
Wasn't wrong the first time.
I love it. Yeah, I love it. It's like he's here, but he's not. This is brilliant.
Great.
All right, who's next on the list? We're at the Alviers. So Marin Alvier, Mello, why don't you go first?
I went for yellow for her. Very motherly, very nurturing, easy yellow for me.
Yep, that was
Those
easy.
honey cakes, though.
Yep, it's easy
Honey
yellow for me too.
Yep, yellow.
Cool. Tree,
Me too. That was my first
Okay.
thought.
yellow's all round. Okay, Bran then. What are we thinking? It's me first, Bran. I like grey, if I'm honest.
Mhm.
That's my first fault to Bran.
Yeah, I gray for Bran.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was
Let's
easy.
just make all the
Very
Two Rivers
unanimous for
people
both
gray and
of
call
them.
it a day.
just grey out the rest of the list.
Yes.
Done. Wow. Okay. Ruach. Delusions. Where are we putting Ruach?
Oh my gosh. You start with my favorite character, Christ on a cracker.
Start. We've been doing this like an
I
hour or so now. Come
know.
on. Like you've been warmed into this.
Ruark is so hard because he's such a good leader. He's
Yeah.
he's like, I'm gonna go gray because you know what? I'm just thinking of the scene in
I mean, if
Stone
you
of
want,
Tyr,
we can
Fael and
unpack Ruach a
Berlin.
little bit if you want. If you want to talk a little bit about it.
No, I'll let everyone else go, but I'm thinking initially gray. I'm open to be convinced otherwise, but like, oh, my boy.
He's a great guy. All right, Tree. What do you think? What do you think?
Okay, so my first thought was green, but then I was thinking blue
Oh,
because, he is a leader. Blues have proven to be good leaders. So I like it.
okay.
Blue.
While I get DT's opinion, why don't you tell us what you think, Mello?
So I initially went for green, but I'm gonna go with gray because that makes more sense for him. I mean, his willingness and readiness to be, in battle and fighting, and made me lean towards green. But he is such a good leader, so you're right. I'm gonna go for gray.
And I mean,
I-
you can keep the peace with 2 wives.
Yeah.
That's true.
Two
Okay, he's
very-
gray. I'm switching.
Two
He's gray.
very happy wives because they seem very happy, don't they?
wives.
Very happy.
And who sues
about
everything between the Aiel that don't want to come over and Randall Thor?
It's true.
Ruach's in the middle.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Solid.
we've got wow, the amount of greys we're finding tonight.
Yeah, we've
This
got
is
a lot of
crazy.
grays.
Is this why there's so few greys? Because all the
It's all men.
channelers, they're all men. We've got plenty of women in grey right now. I'm just saying, like, it's all the non-channelers that would be good greys.
Yeah.
So that's
Probably.
what's going on. Okay. Next on the list. No, yeah, DT went grey straight away.
Wow.
We all said grey.
Nice.
Cool. All right. So next on the list, we have Narishma. Tree, you're up first.
Oh, I can't remember who that is. Oh my goodness.
The one who
I'm
comes next.
failing.
Uh,
The one who
he's-
comes.
Yes. So he's bonded to Maurice, and he has the hair with the bells in his hair.
Okay, so he's an Ashaman.
He's an Ashaman.
Okay, you know what? I am going to let you guys all do yours, and then I'll go after. I'm so sorry. I'll come back on when I'm done my reread.
Okay.
The worst Wheel of Time fan ever.
No, I worked. Okay, so I work with a guy who's like read the books. We'll go on a tangent now. I love these.
Yeah.
So he's read the books, and we were talking about just reading and stuff in general. I was like, oh yeah, like it's I love these books, and I was Wheel of Time. And he's like, oh, is that the one with such and such? And he mentioned something from the book. I was like, yeah. He's like, isn't that where this happens or that happens? And I was like, no, this happens. He's like, no, I'm pretty sure that no, this actually happens instead. And it was something completely wrong. And I'm like. When did you read these books? Are you sure you're not thinking?
That's what we call mansplaining.
Well, he was quoting a storyline from Brandon Sanderson.
Oh, no.
And I was like, no,
Okay.
that's Brandon Sanderson, the guy who finished the books, and that's this book. I think he was quoting Mistborn, if I'm honest.
There you go.
That's And he's like, no, because it had like these creatures from like these people from the desert, and then like the Dark One and stuff. And I'm like,
very good.
When did you read these books? He's like, oh, I read them once, like 20 years, like 10 years ago or something like that. And I was like,
that makes sense.
You're wrong. You've got the wrong books. He's like, no, I'm right. I'm like, I've read them a dozen times. I've run a pod. No. So yeah.
No, sir.
So you're definitely not the worst Wheel of Time fan ever.
Okay.
For not remembering Jehar Narishma.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know.
Pretty sure he's up there. So
yeah, they sound so familiar, and I'm just like, oh God, I'm so embarrassed.
He is the one. Like, it's actually one of my favorite things about RJ is like because he put in so many prophecies, right? And like as the books were coming out, we as fans were on the book forums and we were like dissecting everything. Mm-hmm. So one of the big prophecies that people didn't know what it meant was the one who comes next or the one who follows after. What does that mean? Who is this about? And I love that when Winter's Heart was published, Jordan reveals who it is, right? It's Path of Daggers. It's Narishma, because he goes to get Kalendor from the Stone of Tyr. He is the one that ran Trust to pull it out of the stone. And that's the whole prophecy. And it was such just like, a lot of the fans I think are still pissed about it because it was such a small thing, but I love that Jordan like hyped up some of these prophecies to such an extent, and then it was just like boop, nothing.
Yeah, and then little tiny bits are mentioned. You're like, that refers to like cleansing the taint or something.
Right. Yeah.
So, Mello, did you have somewhere for Narishma to go?
I had white. I put him in white.
Okay.
I was really torn, but that was my best option.
Yeah. I think white is probably where I would go to.
It seems like an okay fit for him, but I just couldn't find anything else that seemed better. I can be swayed, but white was my only option. That was the only thing.
Delusions.
Yeah, I mean, I think Narishma, he's a follower. He follows loyalty. He thinks with his heart. He loves with his heart. He's not, I wouldn't call him overly logical. But he's just a big-hearted
He does seem to like the simple lifestyle though, doesn't he?
He loves it. And like with Maurice, he's one of the first Ashaman that we see just genuinely embracing the bond. And
true.
He follows her. He's loyal to her. He follows Rand. He is someone that can be trusted. And that's a really hard Ajah to sort because Aes Sedai are the worst. Who is he? What Ajah just follows? Is he green? Maybe because he's like such a big-hearted boy. But
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe he's blue because his cause is someone else's.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I mean, you could probably get blues that aren't very, don't have a lot of personality on the go, but dedicate themselves to one thing or another.
Yeah, I mean, Anaya, right? She's motherly and lovely and just takes care of people and is loyal.
Yeah. Tough one. Very, very tough one.
Still don't know. I'm going to just pick white, I guess.
Okay. I feel like we need to do a poll on Narishma.
Yeah.
Good idea.
He's a tough cookie to crack.
Okay. So we're going to poll Narishma. along with Linny. So make my notes there. Lovely. Okay. DeeTee says blue, but he says it's a very tough one. So I think we'll stick with doing the poll there. I mean, I'm interested to what everyone else says. Now, to quote the text here, Eben fucking Hopwell.
That's my boy.
Well, do you want to go first then, Delusions? Come on, drop us the Ajah of Eben fucking Hopwell.
I mean, Eben he's blue. He gives himself entirely to his cause, which is he literally sacrifices his life. She's channeling Saidin, and he goes in battling, and we see, Diane sobbing over his body because he gave everything that he had. He's a beautiful boy.
Nice. Tree, do you know who this one is?
Yeah, I remember this one, and I agree with blue. Yeah, it's like pep. I got little bits. A lot of the Aiel, a lot of the Ashman. I was too excited to get to like the main stuff, and then I read a whole bunch of other books since then. So
It's okay. There's no judgment. You're fine. Don't you worry.
a little bit of judgment. It's okay.
No,
I
no
accept it.
judgment. Mello,
I actually wrote down blue.
nice.
I had
Looks like
him in
it's
solid blue.
yeah, blues all round here. It looks like. So I like it. Very, very good. Okay, Logain. Tree, take us off on this one. Where are you putting Logain?
I want to say blue.
Okay.
I just that's it.
Cool.
Quick fire.
Quick fire. Mello?
I had him on another gender bent red.
Oh,
Yep. I had him as red as well.
yeah, that makes
Red.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Until the absolute end. And then I
Yes.
feel like he becomes a blue. But
Or maybe just as elevated from red to Tamerlane or whatever they're going to call the
yeah,
new Mahale.
very true. Okay. DeeTee, I'm quoting now, like the male equivalent of red.
Yes.
Nice. Okay, that makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
We mostly said that too. I love it. Okay. So he is a red, and he's going to evolve the reds. There we go. We'll do that.
Yeah.
I like it. All right. Next on the list, Mello, tell us where Taim goes. Obviously, don't say black.
Yeah, no. I said actually in my notes literally wrote aside from black ... I also did a red gender bent as well.
Yeah, I'm hardcore red here. I've got to be honest.
Yeah, hardcore.
Yeah, I'm tossed up between red and blue, but
Mhm.
Yeah. For me, it's his passion that pushes him over into red.
Me too.
Like his passions
Yeah.
guide him.
His extreme passion.
I mean,
his
if-
extreme ambition.
Even if there was even if he was not black in the books and he was just a dickhead, if you took him before that when he was just a dickhead and not just not black as well, and put him in the Star Wars universe, he would still be the Sith because he's guided by his passions. Just saying.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Lopin is next on the list. This is me. Wow. Is this the one that died? Which one is Lopin?
My lord's leg is not a piece of meat.
Yes. No, that's Nerim.
Is that Narum?
That's Nerim. Lopin's the other one. Lopin's the other servant. Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Kin.
Yeah. Yep.
I
Like,
put him
solid
as
kin.
yellow. He's a good sewer. He's so close.
Yeah, he's a novice that doesn't really make it past the hello at the front gate.
Yep.
I'm sure he's a lovely guy, but
Get out of here. Go play with Perrin.
yeah, there we go. Okay. Are we in agreement there?
Yep.
All right,
Getting him.
cool.
Definitely.
Ing fucking Tar is next on the list. I presume that means Ingtar. Delusions, where are we putting Ingtar?
Ing fucking Tar, my boy. He is battled to the bones. I love him. Love him. He loses hope. He loses his heart and turns to the shadow. He's ruled entirely by his emotion. He's a green.
Okay.
Big, beautiful battle baby.
Tree.
I was going to say blue, actually.
Okay.
But I'm torn between blue and green. It's like a 50-50 split.
Mello?
I had him down as a green.
I go green as well.
Yeah.
Greens can be passionate. Okay. Cool. We're on the 5 great captains now. First up, as they say at the Black Tower, Brodel Iterade. Oh yeah, I'm gonna try and remember all their names. And I actually can't remember some of them right now. But yes, Brodel Iterade. Why can I not remember the names? Where are we going, Tree?
Green.
Green? Mello?
I didn't have anything down for him, and I'm cursing myself.
Throw one at us. Come on. Quick.
I'm gonna go for green.
Green?
I mean, it's a great captain.
Exactly.
I'm going green. It's my gut reaction.
A little wolf with all of his extreme cunning. That boy's a white.
Ooh. Actually, you swayed me right there, because he is the way he has plans behind plans when he's in battle, and he doesn't seek battle, but by God, is he good? Yeah, I'm white. Changing that to white. Done. So 2 greens and a white, 2 whites, 2 greens. Okay, I'll ask DeeTee and we'll go from there. Gareth Bryn. Mello, what's your first thoughts here on Gareth Bryn?
Solid green for me.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
For me, Gareth Bryn is much more of a blue. And I'm going to put in a tiny little bit of argument there, because when he gets exiled from Camelin, he feels lost because he has no cause to get behind. So, yeah. Delusions?
I totally agree. I think him and Suan are united in causes, and I think that's what attracts both of them to each other so strongly. He's a blue.
And Tree?
I was going to say gray, but I'm going to go blue. You guys convinced me.
Welcome.
We're putting him in the blue. Just because Tree got over her, just obsession with gray.
No.
Gray bias.
Gray
Not
bias. All right. Pedro Nile. Gray. It's got to be gray.
That's what I said.
I mean, he's not very it's his view, right? Like, he is the leader of the goddamn White Cloak, so he's always right. He has to believe in himself so fundamentally. I think he also is a white.
Okay.
He's pretty unyielding. White or red?
I mean, there's always an argument for a White Cloak to be a red, isn't there? So,
pretty strong one.
yeah. Tree?
I'm going to go with red.
Okay. Mello? Sorry, I think you froze there for a moment. Where'd you put Pedro now? Yes.
Yes, my computer screen just froze.
Okay.
I put gray. He is super manipulative. He understands political tactics. I don't think there's any way you can't put him in a gray, because he really does understand the world, even though he's evil, but he uses it to his advantage. So 100%.
Is he evil?
I mean,
I feel like there's some unpacking required there.
he's a
Yeah.
so I mean, at the end of the
But
day,
does he negotiate?
but it's the same thing as having a taint in your mind. I mean, any White Cloak has that,
Well, I disagree, because I don't think all the White Cloaks are evil. I think that a lot of them really thought they were doing the right thing. They're just wrong. But they're not evil.
But so did the Nazis. I mean, so did a lot of people in history that were really fucking bad.
Okay.
I mean, we could talk about current events as well, but I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
I'm not
They
gonna
just
do that
needed a
today.
good leader,
Yeah, you know what? I'll jump on Team Red with Tree.
Okay. So, is it red winning the day there?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Red. Brodel is a blue, according to DeeTee.
Fair.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. We're pretty mixed there, but I mean, it kind of works for a great captain, doesn't it, really? Okay. Agumar Jagad. Tree. I think it's your turn.
Gray.
Gray. Okay. Mello?
I had him done as a green.
I'm green as well.
Yeah, he's
You guys are
the
probably right.
greenest of the captains, I think.
Yeah, he was an easy green for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Pedro now we had green or gray from DeeTee, but he's going to go gray. So
Interesting.
So I just didn't want him. I want everyone else, but
I don't want him.
Okay.
Give him to me.
send him to the Reds.
Set him to the Reds. All right. We've got a couple names left on the list. I do remember this one from the Black Tower Boys. It is Daddy Dabram Bashir.
Jeez.
Over him already, didn't we?
I thought we did Bashir already.
Oh, did we do Bashir already? Oh,
He was on the list twice.
oh, he was on the list twice. Ah, okay. Well, he's Daddy Davram. We'll just leave it. Okay.
Daddy.
Wyramon is the last one here, which I feel might have been a Delusions add-in.
Had to.
Right. Okay. Did you have one, Mello?
I actually don't have one for him at all. I'm gonna go ahead and skip and listen because maybe someone can sway me.
Okay, I'm going to go
Yeah.
last because I have an alternative option.
Very
But Delusions, where are you putting your boy Wyramon?
Oh my God, Wiramon, who's the biggest sap in the entire book. Oh, he's so funny. I love him. Where does he fit? Where does that little?
Sure, we'll have a little bit of discussion around this.
You know what? I'm
yeah.
gonna throw him in green just
In
because
green?
he's so. I hate that I'm doing it, but he's so bullheaded, and he's like, "Let's charge at 3 a.m." And he just loves his battles.
Just a good horseman will ride them down. It's good charge from the horse. That's all we need.
I am Wiramon. Yeah. I don't know.
Okay.
Just throw them in with Alana.
Okay.
They can start their own like bizarre sub Ajah.
Tree, do you have anything to
Jeez,
add in here?
I'm quick time looking up who the heck Wireman is, because once again I fail as a Wheel of Time
No,
fan.
that explains him completely because like you
Yeah,
read
it's
it
really
and you're
good.
just like, I'm so glad I'm not reading him anymore
He's
after
the
this.
loser
Oh,
from
okay.
here. He's like one of the lords who's just like a simpering, like pompous fool.
I want to throw out a new
Oh.
option and I want to put him as head clerk in the White Tower, as in actual one of the clerks, not the brown Ajah, just an actual clerk.
Just to-
Thinks he's responsible for something big, because I'm head clerk of the White Tower. But dude,
Yes.
you fucking count numbers on a sheet all day. Come on.
I love
Yeah.
that.
So
Yeah.
Love that. Or he's like the understudy to oh my gosh, who's the chef?
Mistress Laris?
He's like the understudy to her, who carries like a tinier spoon around and thinks he's just as important.
A
He's
mini
her
spoon.
spoon chef.
He's like the bad version of who is so you've got who becomes like Elaine's spy master type thing, Master Nori. He's like the crappy version of Master Nori, isn't he? Okay, I love it.
I support those 100%.
Nice. Right. Well, we've made it to the end of the list, and
Ooh,
that
wow.
was really entertaining. I like that. Some of the options were quite hilarious.
Yeah.
And some surprising results. I've got to say, I didn't expect as many grays.
I know.
Yeah.
This was like
It was a fun
full of-
shift.
Yeah. I didn't. To be fair, I didn't even. If I had to put you somewhere, Tree, I would not have put you in grey.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I would have put you in. I'm thinking yellow, to be honest.
Yeah.
Oh,
would
That was
put
the kind of
Trey as
vibe I
yellow.
got. Yeah.
Really? That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Maybe it's the whole tree thing. Healing trees,
herbs.
earth. Yeah. Herbs.
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe.
Maybe. But yeah. But no, this has been a lot of fun. Thank you so much for joining me today, ladies.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us, Rob. This was
If you
blast.
want to follow any of these fabulous people on Twitter, I will put all of their handles in the description to the show, both the podcast and the YouTube video. So please follow them anywhere there. I think Tree, you've got Instagram as well, or something you've got on the go for all
Yep,
your art
and Twitter.
and Twitter. Anyone else on Instagram or just Twitter or?
Just Twitter.
Just Twitter. We'll follow everyone on Twitter, and perhaps Mello might send me details for her podcast that you heard here first, people.
Most likely.
Then you know where to go and to follow. But yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for listening to us, watching us today. Please give us a comment, feedback. You can contact me, malkidtalks@gmail.com. Nice and simple. If you want to support what I do here, you can follow me. You can support me on Patreon, various levels there. Lots of different benefits. I've got a couple already, and I love having them. They're so supportive, and you could be part of that too if you wish. Alternatively, if you just want to say, hey, love what you do, just again, follow us on something and send us a message. and it's all appreciated. We love you. So thank you again for joining me, ladies. Thank you, DeeTee, for your impromptu live messaging that I set up randomly because I just decided to message you. And I'd love to do this again.
Yeah.
Perhaps if you feel up for it,
got
ladies.
like 2,400 more characters to go, I think, easily.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm sure we can find more Grays.
Over.
I'm excited.
I tell you what,
When in doubt.
we need to expand, and I feel like we should try and get one of every Ajah. We should get someone from every Ajah in and do like a big panel. So what we've got, obviously we've got a grey. I feel there's a grey in the building, possibly.
Maybe.
I'm sorry. Mello, what was your Ajah again?
I'm between blue and green. I lean way more towards blue.
Okay,
so like my crazy side is green. So
blue delusions.
I'm a blue now.
Okay.
I can argue for green all day though.
All right. Maybe we put you in green. So, and then we've got a blue for Mello and grey for Tree, and I'll ask DeeTee what he is, and then we'll try and figure out the rest. And we'll do this again because there's lots more characters we can do this for, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, thank you for joining me, and until next time, sleep well and wake.